Hello everyone. I just wanted to go into some detail about some videos I'm posting. It's audio. It's audio from a few. This actually took place a few weeks ago. I haven't yet posted them, but I'm posting them now. And it's audio, and you can click on them. They're rather short. And they're basically like things that I was dealing with at the time. The the video where it's mostly dark and it's talking about directed conversation that was done about basically trying to threaten credit card theft and talking about stalking, bringing it up, and people I know who are involved in this. So yeah, that's basically what that was, and it was really interesting because I wish I would have turned around or didn't have my phone on the it was a phone. It was the phone I was using, so I had my hand on them. Anyways, what happened was, I don't know if you hear in that video, but there's a car running, and what happened was when I first went to the place where I took that, when I was doing that audio video when I was on the phone, no one was there. I found a place where no one was at, and then all of a sudden there was a smoker that happened to be smoking like facing me across the street, and there was a car that whole time that was just parked there, and they were just sitting there like near me, like they weren't parked in a parking spot, they were parked kind of right there, just right there, kind of, uncomfortably, like weird. And what got weirder was when I closed the phone, stopped recording, and walked away. Right then, they real fastly, like, got their car in gear and, like, pulled back into a parking space. Right then. Right when I went to walk away. So that was interesting. Of course, I didn't catch it on video, so can't really prove it, but it happened and whatever. I'm just telling you what I experienced. I wish I had just, like, turned and got that video footage of that car just sitting there, and that smoker just being like, it was weird. And that was the day of the directed conversation. A few days later, or a week, I can't really, because it's been a while, like this happened a little bit of time ago. Anyway, so the second video where you actually have some video there, and I'm talking about my experience of, like, I'm guessing at most 20 minutes. It was probably less. Had an LP start whistling, doing the thing. Had, and looking at me funny. That's how you know they're trying to do their little thing. Right? We all know, and you try to explain it. Like, if it happened to all these people, they're like, oh, you're overreacting. They haven't had it happen to them. Because they would know that something fishy was going on because of the way people are acting when they're doing this shit. So right after that happened, I was working, because I work in a grocery store, I was working an aisle, and within that amount of time, I had like multiple different people, multiple different customers walk in my aisle, the same aisle, started whistling, doing a thing, and then leaving, but not whistling. You know what I'm saying? The same shit, I mean, how many different people, like, you can be like, oh, well, people whistle. People don't whistle that damn much. I mean, and you could say, yeah, now that my awareness is drawn to whistling, now that it's become a trigger, I notice it more. True, but even before then, people did not whistle that much. I don't remember it being, 6 different fucking people down, within like a 15 to 20 minute at most time span. I doubt it. That's really pushing it. It really is pushing it, especially because I know for a fact that they're doing this on purpose. And the employees were ramping it up too, because that's when they try to, like, oh, if we do it enough, she'll snap. You know. And that day that I took that was talking about the whistling, I went outside to, like, wipe my hands. They have, like, some sanitizer. I'm walking out, and some weird guy, like, he's already acting weird. Like, you guys can call this by now. Like, you're getting to the point where you can call it, like, that they're gonna do it, even before they do it sometimes. Like, I've gotten to that point, like, that dude's gonna do it. I know he's gonna do it. Anyways, and so, like, sometimes I cross my arms because it feels comfortable. Like, I'm not trying to be an ass, but sometimes, like, sometimes they deserve it. But anyways, so, you know, they've copied this. Remember the mimicking thing? They like to mimic things. Well, they mimic this about me sometimes. Now, I know not everyone crossing their arms is doing that, so I don't even acknowledge it when it happens so much anymore. But this guy did it, walked towards me, looking at me, key thing, looking at me, doing the thing really kind of with an obvious energy with it. You know what I'm saying? That presence, like, you know what they're doing. And then he started whistling. He did them both. Like, they like to do both of them so they know, like, oh, well, you know, she's not triggered by the red, because it's like fucking Christmas season anyway. So, like, of course, you know, oh, so we'll get a person in red whistling down her aisle. You know, like, that happened. And I'm like, you guys, like, seriously. But anyway, there's so much that I could talk about, and I really just stopped writing them down. I'm just going to start talking about them on the video and having audio about it. But, like, these things. And, like, now my boss that does it, one of my bosses, that originally, if you watch some of the stuff on my other channel before, you know, I lost it pretty much, but it was... He was the one that when they started, way back in the day when this shit started happening, when they would take out their phones and act like, or actually record me or whatever they were doing, he was the one that brought to my attention, like, that people might be watching me in the way he did it. And anyways, this boss, like, he's calling, like, I had another coworker like to call me trouble. Oh, you're troubled. And I haven't even gotten a write-up there. Like, I haven't even got, like, a verbal reprimand in a bad way. And yet, I'm trouble. When you get all these people doing actually really bad things, yet I'm the person that's trouble. Anyway, so he's, like, calling me trouble now again. And it's like... it's a different person doing a, oh, you're trouble, you know, sort of thing. And it's like, really? Well, doesn't seem like it. No one's talked to me about it. And that's the funny thing. No one talks to me about anything. All they do is this triggering, this kind of like, ooh, we're watching you sort of thing. And like that sort of thing. And like the passive, the occasional conversation. And the conversations for me have to be really, like, obviously weird, because you can kind of inject your own mental status, like your own mental narrative into things, which you shouldn't do. Because, you know, that can be easy. Like, it has to be kind of really obvious and out of place. But yeah, it's, to me, I make them work for their fucking... and sometimes I get irritated, but I try not to let it get to... See, my thing is, I hate stupid people. Like, I hate when people act stupid and immature. Like, something about it is so fucking irritating. And... And then the whole concept behind it. Of course, the reason why we react is because we know the reasoning behind it or what they're trying to do, and it pisses us off, and no one wants to listen until it's them. They'll listen if it's them. But it's just, I wanted to explain these videos because I know they were kind of... But anyway, that's what happened. Like, oh God, I wish I had gotten more, like, the footage of that car when I walked away, and it was totally, like, weird and obviously weird, like, off-putting, you know, off-putting thing, like, I'm gonna, like, real fast part, like, right when she walks away, I'm gonna fucking, been sitting here this whole time, and now I'm just gonna, like, really fast back into this spot real dramatically and loud. I mean, come on, like, seriously, come on. It was weird. And then, you know, the smoker across the way trying to make me feel like I can't get any privacy and all that shit, you know. Anyways, it's so stupid. These people, there's something totally wrong with them. And, you know, they got, like, all their lies that they're telling people. And it's funny because I even put up, like, a sticker on my locker work, like, people who believe lies. Something about rumors are spread by haters. And there's this thing online. And, like, come on now, people. You just believe everything people tell you. I mean, and this shit happens, like, these people are so, like, I'm in a really progressive area, I always thought of myself as progressive too, but these people are warped with like all the propaganda that they've been, and like they actually believe that like people who are, yeah, they are warped with like some serious propaganda, and you know anyone, they're just off. They're off their rockers, and I'm like, these people are insane, and if they're told anything about like they'll slander like anybody who doesn't agree with them or has like who doesn't like totally like go with their line of thinking, you know, they'll slander them. You see this in like the online world, people getting innocent people getting slandered and called stuff they aren't. This shit happens at work too. And you know, and I've been hinted towards like some political reasonings there behind that. Sorry, you got a cough. And not only also with like the hints of, oh yeah, like I'm a prostitute, I'm into drugs. Like I've had this shit said to my face, which I'm not. I'm not. Oh, I wear makeup, it doesn't make me a prostitute. I just like certain sorts of fashion. You know, I've hardly smoked pot. Like I used to smoke a little bit more, but and especially I had to like stop because shit was getting so weird. And it's not even the pot. This shit is really happening. Of course, like you know, you don't want to be overstimulated when this shit is going on in the psychic realm too, because this shit is going. It's just nuts. But yeah, these people are seriously warped. But I just want to kind of explain what those videos were, because I'm gonna add to some confusion. I haven't been on here for a while, and I have some people commenting, and I really wanted to get into. I want to do some videos about like the tech and stuff. I have a magazine about some of the brain tech, brain computer, biotech shit that they want to get into. Um, and I don't want to scare anyone. But it's interesting to look at and acknowledge that, you know, if they had this stuff, even if people say we're crazy now, what if this shit like happens in the future? Because that's where it would go. You think people don't want control? You think people don't want a police state? You think people don't want control over the masses? They've had people write about things about, and people from like universities in like the 70s writing about how they wanted to control people's political and social things through chips and stuff implanted. I mean, this shit is real. You have MK Ultra, that's a thing. I'm gonna do a video about that. They've had like the Manchurian can, like all this shit is real. And there's all these different types of reasons that they use this shit and experiment with this shit, and like the social, you know, propaganda, engineering, you know, just how they can control people through different methods. And it's real. And again, I don't want to go into paranoia land, but you do have to acknowledge things that are actually happening. Like I know some of this stuff, because remember, it gets into your head. Like, yeah, someone is whistling and doing this stuff. Not everyone that whistles and doing this stuff is doing it. They want you to think that, but at the same time, there are a lot of people who are doing that for that reason. Sorry, my cat. Like they're actually, you know, people are fucking with you, and they are trying to get into your head, and they are trying to really do some really dark shit, and this shit is gonna backfire. So we really need to come together as a community. I gotta say, like this, the Gangstalking community is really actually a really good community from what I see with interacting online. Like I've dealt with other communities in the past, but there's something about understanding that we need to at least talk to each other, or at least get our messages online, so that people don't feel alone. And people are like, oh, well, it's schizophrenia and all this stuff. One, if it was schizophrenia, other people wouldn't be purposely being obviously doing this shit. You know, it can lead to it. It can help that. But it's gang stalking is not, if it's actually happening, no, it's not schizophrenia. It's actually happening. People are doing it. You can prove it. If you had a video feed, you could prove that it's happening. You could act, if you had a constant feed of your interactions through the day, you could prove that this shit was happening. You could. So therefore, not schizophrenia. And even if it was, what's wrong with having a community talk about it, talk through it, getting them past difficult stages, and like not reacting, you know? There's like, don't even, like, get me started on that. Like, I don't get it. There's so many more videos that I would like to do, become a little more organized with my videos, and I think my battery's kind of a little low on here, but I really did want to get on here and talk about this, and explain what my videos that I'm posting are about, like if the audio videos. That's what that shit was about. I was getting real, it's stupid. And they haven't stopped. And I have threatened on here, like, for if they watch and they know what I'm posting, that I would keep talking about it and sharing more about it. And that they needed to stop, and I'd stop, but they didn't stop. So I guess they want me to share more about it. Which is fine, because I'm about, nothing illegal about talking about your experiences. I mean, I know, like, people want to censor online now. They want to censor YouTube. They want to censor. That's why I'm going to be throwing my stuff on other platforms that I have. I need to get my videos on there. I'll share a link when I do. It's best if you are experiencing this to get on other platforms as well that don't censor as much. The newer video platforms, definitely take a look at those, because they'll just like try to silence you and saying it's a conspiracy theory and all this stuff. Which, what is a theory but something that has evidence, pointing to a certain thing? And yes, conspiracies happen. It's called human history. People have conspired throughout all of human history to do different types of things, for different means. It's nothing new under the sun, really, when it comes to that, or anything else, really. But, like, when it comes to that. And people seek control. And people have been caught doing this shit. MK Ultra. You think they stopped doing that shit? Do you honestly think they stopped doing that shit? Do you honestly think that they stopped doing that shit and they aren't going to use modern tech or try to advance the technology to get even more sophisticated to do even more of that stuff? Do you honestly think, throughout what we know of humans and people and how and the systems of control, that's an actual like, they really just let that shit go? No, they didn't. They're still doing that shit. They just hid it underground, and then you have like all this information. The internet is a way. Well, you think they gave the internet to people just so, like, they weren't going to get anything out of it? Do you honestly think there wasn't something connected to that? You honestly think there wasn't some kind of intention of, like, oh, we can control? Yeah, there was money involved, obviously. There's a lot of commerce and stuff that goes on online. But there was a lot of control, too. But now they're scared because there's a lot of people talking about stuff they don't want them to talk about. They want control over it. So they're going to try and control the internet, censorship, and all that stuff. That's obvious, But anyways, I want to get into more of this stuff. I want to do a video on the tech. I want to do the, like computers and, like, the brain technology that they're looking to do. At least that's what they're saying they're looking to do on a magazine. Unless, of course, that's psyops propaganda, which, you can print anything in a magazine. But, yeah, probably. We've seen some weird shit. Like, some of us have seen some weird shit, have experienced some weird shit when it comes to what we're thinking and things, like, not telling, weird shit. And I'll get into that, too. Yeah, again, my battery's going out. I just really feel like talking. Obviously, I'm in, like, a really chatty mood right now. But yeah, I think if you're experiencing this, you need to get online in some kind of way and talk about it. Even if I don't care. I don't care anymore. Like, the more you talk about it, the better it's going to be. The more you have a community, the less likely you are to snap. Some of these people want you to snap. They want people some people want people to commit acts of violence so they can use it for their political means. Oh, this person was a loner. A lot of us seem to be more loners than others, obviously. And oh, well, they listened to this person, this controversial talker. Oh, they had this controversial belief. We need to wipe this from the internet. This kind of idea is dangerous. Oh, these people or this person they were watching was dangerous. We need an excuse to because this person was violent, and it's not even the reason why the person snapped in the, we just have what they tell us. We don't know what was going on with these people who snap and like do something. What was really going on? We have what people tell us what was going on. And a lot of it's just like cherry picked shit that they want to use for whatever means or gains that they'll get out of it. Social or political control. That's what it's about. Anyways, so I'm sure I've spoken enough. I don't want my battery to go out right on me. But anyways, so watch the other videos that I posted, and now you'll know a little more clarity about what that was about, what those are about, and what was happening, and what's been happening since then. But anyways, and I'm going to post some more videos coming up. I've been doing a lot of inner spiritual work, and sometimes that takes isolation a little bit, especially when you're dealing with a lot of stuff. But anyways, yeah. Until next time, keep trying to find your own inner peace, be strong, be brave, and put yourself out there when you can, especially when it comes to this stuff. Definitely put this stuff out there. It's important, especially at this time.